gonna be recorded too, so that Emily can watch it later, right? Okay.
All right, looks like it's working.
Is it ready to go?
We're gone.
Okay, good. I'll start off with an awakening story. That's a great story, huh? Yeah, it really is. See, I think I'll tell the one about, there's been several times, many times actually, when people would be in a process like connected breath, and they would we'd have like 2 or 3 people have the same experience, you know, they'd all have the same visualization. This time, there was a 20-ish something kid who was a black belt in karate, and he was on the floor and he had his arms like this, and he started speaking in some other language, and so Bev got a piece of paper and started writing down phonetically what he was saying. And then when he came out of it, he said, I was in an Egyptian pyramid in a ceremony. And somebody else went, I was in that pyramid and I was the priest performing the ceremony. And somebody else said, I was in that pyramid and I was a bird flying at the top of the pyramid, you know? And Bev took, you gotta give me time to turn it up, dude. Bev, Bev took the paper that she did to a guy at BYU that was a expert in ancient languages. She showed it to him and said, can you tell me what this is? And he goes, well, I'll tell you what it is if you tell me where you got it. And she said, well, tell me. He goes, well, it's an ancient Egyptian language, but there's probably only half dozen people in the world that can recognize it. And then she told him the story about it.
Yeah. Wow. So cool.
Okay. So, everybody here has a contract? Everybody here has their oh, did everybody here who's got their checks turned in, does everybody have their checks turned in? Okay, and you're gonna get me some? Okay. So, did anybody not get a workbook?
None of
Yeah.
this probably looks like they have a thing.
It's just some extra material. Has anybody not had a genie game? By the way, I want you guys to know, Ray had one of the best genie games I can remember, ever.
How cool.
It's amazing. He signed up for the Awakening.
Wow.
Let's acknowledge him.
Yay.
Woohoo!
Amazing. Right. Good for you.
Okay, now, who's the team captains? Shelley and Sarah. Okay, good. So, did anybody not text you 6 times minimum?
Emily missed twice, but Mary was absolutely perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
I always knew she was perfect.
Yeah, she was just perfect.
Okay.
Okay.
Emily missed twice.
Yeah.
Okay. Emily, if you're watching this, is that why you're absent tonight? Okay. And is that the only people that were on your team?
Yes.
Okay.
Just
Thank you. Okay. And you did it all the time?
yeah, well, it's easy when you're team captain and everybody texts you and then you put it in your own. That's easy. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Sarah, did anybody on your team not do it for 6 days? Everybody did it. Good.
And they both even did it. Did it
Okay.
at least once.
Okay, so now, let's see. don't we have you tell us what, when you say did it and a number, what does it mean? There's three things it means.
Means that you did it and,
Did what?
you did your skill, or your science skill,
And?
and you did it after what you did it after your
Yeah. What else? See, if you're not conscious of what it is you're sending, then how can you send a text that says I did it if you don't know what you did? Do you think you're just forgetting right now, or do you think,
I think I'm forgetting now, but
okay, Ray?
This the visualization,
Yeah. So did you remember the visualization twice a day?
the new skill.
Good. The new skill and, okay, somebody else?
I have a list.
Oh, yeah, on the list, so, I just tell you, the other one is acting on any strategies that
Yes.
came to you from the
Okay.
visualization, yeah.
Right. The whole point of the visualization is to come up with strategies that are much better when your intent is higher. If you don't act on those strategies at 100% for a few days in a row, odds are it's not gonna manifest. Okay? Good. So when you text a number, did it, and a number, it signifies I acted on my strategies. I did the visualization, I did my new skill, and I acted on my strategies. Ah! Gotcha. And then at that percentage, okay? Have I given everybody a new skill because, okay, good. And did you give me your homework yet?
I never do it, you didn't like it.
Oh, what didn't I like about it?
Because I wasn't like one.
It's not that I don't like you, Mary, I just don't like your homework.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know what's great about doing the comedy thing, okay? I swear to God, I have been funny ever since that thing. And yesterday I did the 4 steps and I had a profound
Yeah.
experience. And I got it, how much that somehow unlocked permission in me.
Mhm.
That I was always funny, but I didn't know that I had permission to be that funny.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Everybody else other than Mary, turned in your homework and I gave you a new skill, right? Okay,
Sometimes, can you go, give me a little help with the visualization?
yeah, yeah.
Whenever that's convenient.
Let me give Mary a new skill and then I'll come right back to you. Remind me, don't let me forget. Okay? I won't be able to access my subconscious. I won't get anything out of the breakthrough. Yeah. I think I said this last time, but any breakthrough leader who looked at you would know that you're gonna have a breakthrough. It's just that's not even a word. And it's, what's great about the breakthrough is that when you're a participant, all you gotta do is, when I say, okay, who wants a breakthrough, just stand up. That's all you gotta do. And then the breakthrough leader does all the rest. And there might even be times when you get stuck, but that's okay. That's, for a breakthrough leader, that's good news. It's, in Gestalt therapy terms, it's called an impasse. The client is hitting an impasse. And that means something really good is just around the corner. So that's good. If anything, I'd be a little nervous that you might want to keep going after 3 hours. That was Ennis, you know? I came in, he's hitting the pillow, then I come back, I get stuck with somebody else's group, and I come back around, I think it's been like an hour, he's still hitting the pillow. Dude, don't break our pillow. Good, good. Okay, I'll give you a new skill. How have you been doing with, talking loud in class after, who is it? Emily, how have you been doing with that?
Good.
Just teach without.
No, whenever, the quiet ones in Movement to Mastery have to pick somebody out of the group who talks the most. And every time they talk, they have to talk this loud. You know, it reprograms the brain.
Maybe slap them in the
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they have to laugh at Emily every time. Okay. 2 new skills. The first one is for 2 minutes a day, I want you to loud, very, very loud, bitch about anything. I want you to go like, I hate the weather, and I hate this, and I hate this person, and and God really bugs me, and whatever. It doesn't even matter what you say. What matters is that you're being loud and adamant for at least 2 minutes a day, okay? And the only place you can't do it is when you're driving. But you could pull the car over, get in a parking lot, and do it. And the next one is, this is actually for everybody. Is there anybody that I didn't give the new skill to make a list of 25 to 30 people or more and then ask them for $1,000? Oh, because you're doing love life stuff. That's okay. Anybody else? I didn't give you that one. Were you in this class last year? And you didn't do that skill? Okay, then do it this year. Okay? The more nervous you are about doing it, the better it is for you.
Well, I was really nervous and you didn't give it to me last time, so I was like, oh no!
I probably didn't think you were ready yet. You're definitely ready now. Okay, man?
Nicholas and Aspen.
Yeah. You can say, so-and-so, this really means a lot to me. It means the world to me. You can even say something about why you want it so bad. Like, what did you get in your genie game that you want to, who's the person you want to be? How do you want to be a gift so that they get it? You know what I mean? How much it means to you. And then say, I want to ask you to see if you could sponsor me. It's cost this much and I'll, you can do any part of that, I'd love to get at least $1,000 from you so I can not ask too many people. You can either sponsor me or you can either loan me the money and I'll pay you back with interest and that, okay? I don't remember if I told anybody this last time, but I've had teenagers who raised their awakening by basically going down Main Street in West Temple to all the shops and then just going to the owners and saying, if you'll pitch in for my awakening, then whatever amount you pitch in, Gary will do that amount in training, And, when I was in CEDU, I was 19, and Mark Hughes, the guy who started Herbalife, was 16. And we had to go down and raise money for CEDU. And we had these $25 books, and then we had these gold tickets for $100, and we'd go into places and we'd ask for money. And me and Mark were kind of like friendly competition. So one day I got a $500 ticket, and the whole car was like, whoa. And then we started doing like La Jolla and Beverly Hills and different places. Hey kids, listen to your mom, okay?
You guys have to be quiet or go out?
Okay. So we got better, and we didn't know that we couldn't go into the biggest corporations in the world, get past 2 levels of secretaries, and get the CEO of Union Bank or Arco to come out, talk to us, and give us, we ended up both getting $5,000 one time. You know what I mean? Because we were too young to know you can't do that. You know what I mean? So, believe me, it will serve you. Okay. There you go, sweetie. Good job. Okay, go ahead, Ray. Ask me a question.
So, this visualization, I remember this story about the money on the table in like the house or whatever.
Yeah?
So I guess my question is, I don't quite know what I'm visualizing. Like,
Okay.
I've just been
Okay.
visualizing or trying to feel the feeling I want to feel.
Okay.
I don't know if there's an
The
amount of
idea-
money that's,
The idea of the house and the money on the table is if I were to give you those 2 things for raising the money,
okay,
like, could you do it? Yes. And then what would you do to do it? That's the point of the visualization.
okay.
And you don't have to use just money in the house, you can use anything. I've had several people use, my son or daughter needs a life-changing surgery, and insurance won't cover it, I've gotta raise the money, what would I do? You
So
come up,
is that for people that the awakening's not enough motivation? Because that's pretty big
Well,
motivation for me.
well, that's great, if that's what it is, put it on the table. If the point is, put whatever motivates you the most.
Okay.
I don't care, it could be a vacation around the world, I don't care. Whatever motivates you, that's the point.
Okay.
If the awakening's a big motivator, great, do it.
That's kind of what I've been doing.
Yeah,
And then that will stimulate strategies to come into my mind.
it will generate different strategies than you just trying to sit around thinking, what am I gonna do? Because the game is designed to increase your level of intention. And whenever your intention is higher, you come up with better strategies. Yeah, like you could put the freedom or what you saw in your genie game on the table. You know what I mean? It's like, shit, yeah, I'm gonna make it to the awakening one way or another. You know? Okay, thank you for asking the question. Okay, I wanna hear whatever people have come up for strategies so far, in case I can polish them a little bit. Okay, raise your hand, Sarah.
So I've heard you talk about the kid that took a treasure chest to all the banks, and that keeps coming up to me to do
Yeah,
that. So
yeah.
if I'm going in to go and ask for donations, so I'm gonna do that tomorrow.
You don't have to do a treasure chest,
Yeah,
because it was a
But it-
pain in the ass to take this treasure chest to the bank and go, can you change
I
it?
know. But it's
Okay.
part of being like playful though. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Right, and you know, every bank in the Tri-City area has to do a certain amount of community service donations and
Right,
stuff
it's
like that.
called the
And because-
Community Reinvestment Act. Yeah,
That's
there's
right.
a law that says they have to do this, and
Yeah.
they have to make donations
Right,
or community,
right.
service
And
projects.
the truth is, you
things.
could go into
Yeah.
any office building, anywhere.
Credit unions aren't subject to that law, but all the
Yeah.
banks are.
Right, and you
Okay.
can just go up and down the 5 floors or whatever and knock on every door and say, hey, I'm trying to raise money,
Yeah.
please. And, you know,
I'm a
If
big
you-
example.
if you say that 1 or 2 sentences that came out of the Success Beyond Sales
Mhm.
workshop that kind of is touching and moving, then you'll have good luck. Good. Okay, good, somebody else. What other
I've got a
strategy?
list here.
Yeah, go ahead.
I refinanced my house, borrowed from the bank. Tomorrow I'm gonna talk in front of the coaches on the ski team that I coach on. Have to get up to present an award. It crossed my mind that I'm in front of the audience there. It's all the parents of these
Yes,
wealthy parents of
Yes.
these kids that ski. I'm pretty scared about that. I don't know if that's an appropriate place to mention that when I'm giving an award to someone else, but I'll be in front of a lot of these people. Maybe I can talk to them privately afterwards or something.
What you can say after you give the award first, and say, listen, everybody, I just want to mention that I'm trying to do something personally that means the world to me. And so I'll be talking to some of you afterwards about how I'm trying to raise some funds for a really good cause. Would you, just know that I'm gonna be doing that. Just say that much in front of the room, and then
Okay.
go around the room, and of course, some of them might even come up to you
Then
and
ask, yeah.
say, what is it?
Just sowing a seed.
Yes, right, and those are the kind of people that would have the money, so that if they like who you are, and they like what you've done for their kid, or, they say, wow, you're trying to really better yourself, that's great, well, let me give you $1,000. Wouldn't surprise me.
I've noticed people put fundraiser things on Facebook,
Yeah, GoFundMe, and there's several of them.
Kickstarter.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's,
yeah, yeah,
Those are good ideas.
yeah.
Once I raise the money, can I start asking people
Yeah.
for money? So, it could end up being like only 3 people I have to ask,
Great.
So that's kind of-
Great. Although I do want to say it's valuable enough that think about it when you're done raising the money and see if you don't want to do a few more,
Oh, yeah.
It's just a valuable
I
exercise.
know that because I'm so scared of it, but
Yes, it's valuable.
a place for me
Good
to move
stretch.
into.
Yeah. Okay, somebody else? Okay.
I was thinking when I called and asked people as a second question, I could also ask that, after we finish their products, the team for,
Yeah. Right,
That's my profession.
right.
And,
Is it your own business?
no.
You work for somebody else?
For somebody else.
Yeah. But since you know how to do it, then he won't mind if you do that. Because it's
Side projects, you mean?
Yeah,
Okay.
just kind of side project.
side project.
Yeah.
It kind of give it to people I call me and said, that I'm giving them something in return.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, Brad who does the drumming for the Connected Breath. I think I told you guys how he just called every Awakening grad he knew or that they knew and said, look, if you'll donate $50 to my Awakening, I'll make you a 5-course meal, And almost nobody took him on it. They just gave him $50. They liked it that he was brave enough to put himself out there.
Did you finish kitchen cabinets?
Yeah.
I just want you to know there are at least a couple of dozen Awakening grads who could do the whole amount like that. So it doesn't hurt to ask. The worst going to happen is people say no.
That's a good exercise too, just to hear no and
Yes,
not take it personally.
that's right. Not take it personally. So when Wilbur says, nobody wants to give in to you, you loser, Shut up, Wilbur.
Yeah.
Anything else, Rick?
I was also telling my boss about your work and seeing if he'd like to give me a donation or I could talk to him about, doing some trade and something like that.
Well, that's a great idea, because you're already working for him, and it's like for him, it's like, I'll pay you now, so you'll do work later. And he can decide how much he wants to put toward the future so he can keep you around. If he likes what you do, then yeah, that's a great idea. Anything else?
Mostly just the same as some kind of call financing, figure out how to get finance.
Yeah. Have you talked to Ennis yet?
I really.
Well, did I announce everybody about financing? That if you need financing, call Ennis, it's not a guarantee, but if you've got decent credit and, you know, certain things, then, you know, then you just, it's over, you've got it.
Okay, what's that up on the board for? Because there's financing up there.
That's-
What's that up there for?
Ennis is the first one to
Okay.
try,
Okay.
that's the second one to try.
Okay, all right, I just,
They're just two different financing groups,
okay,
so either one of them might be able to get you the money.
okay. I just didn't know, it's been up there for a while.
Yeah.
And I don't recall when it went up there and what it's.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
You book an appointment and they get you the money. There's even an Awakening grad who they guarantee that they can fix your credit. Then they get every bit of financing that they can find, and the only agreement is you have to take whatever they can get you, because they can probably get you a shitload of money, okay? Then they have a way to invest the money, and people are making a killing on his thing. You know what I mean? Like his son is making $2,000 a month, you know,
Yeah.
on the investment. Like they raise you the money so you can invest it, you know.
Yeah.
And you don't have to, you can, they'll give you a bunch of money and then you don't have to invest all of it, you can invest a little bit or, you know.
Hmm.
Is that, John Bradshaw that's doing that?
That's one of them, and the other one is Harvey, who, his is, basically a bigger investment and they'll probably get you more money.
Oh, what's his name, Harvey?
Dockstead.
Oh, that's what I got.
I think Harvey's thinking about being one of the speakers with Ron McMillan. Hoping he does. Y'all know who the story is, right, Harvey?
But there's two, Harvey.
Well,
Apparently Colby.
Dockstetter is the one that I took from,
Right,
I can't remember, $250,000 a year to something like $70,000, $80,000 a month at one point.
right,
You know, he was one of my percentage clients.
right. Is he the one married to Rosalie?
No, that's his
Son.
son's wife,
Okay.
or his daughter, one of those.
Right,
At one point last year, he was thinking about bringing several of the family through the awakening, but it was mostly for his wife. And then they shifted gears, and so they're, but I think some of them still want to do it. Yeah.
Gary, I have a question about money, like you increased someone's income from this level to this level. Do you do a lot of work on money stuff, or do you find that it's all this stuff and then the money just works itself out? Yeah? Okay.
I don't know much about money stuff. There are a lot of money guys who know a lot about money and can tell you great strategies about money. When I took a millionaire from $1 million a year to $8 million a year, for about 9 months, all I did was help him plug up the holes in his love life. And not everybody's, you know, talented at making money, but whatever talent you have, if you're running on 2 pistons, when I get you up to 6 pistons, you do a lot better, you know, like that.
when I started doing this work in California, I'm a salaried person, a banking salary, I doubled my income just because I started
Yeah,
plugging.
clearing
in
out
those
some of the
holes.
stuff.
Right, yeah.
That's
and
right.
Doubled my income because I learned to ask for
Yeah.
what I wanted, you know, and.
That's very common, you know,
yeah.
out of the awakening, that's, I don't know what the percentage is, but I'm guessing a minimum of a third to a fourth. Absolutely increase their income.
Yeah.
You know, which when you think about it, the money it costs you to get to the awakening is just an investment, you know? Because you think about even a little increase over 10 years, that's. Okay, anybody else have strategies that came out of the visualizations?
So.
Love life stuff?
Yeah. So, I don't know, the stuff with, working on my love life, so the new skill about, I think it's just too hard for me to go to
Country
places
club.
where wealthy men are.
Yeah.
Okay, so I tried, contacted a couple country clubs. I cannot get in because I'm not a member,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
And it was so disappointing.
Yeah, but all the members can bring guests.
Right, right. So that was so disappointing to me this weekend.
Like Jeremy's a member of a country club.
Okay, but it was disappointing to me, and so I let myself get, rather paralyzed about it, okay? Because I was looking up, trying to find places where wealthy men go, which is very hard for me to find, so I thought, saying I could do it twice a week is unreasonable, okay? So I think that I need to say once a week, all right, would be a big stretch for me, all right, to even be able to get out of that and go once a week. So what I did do was sign up for an online dating site, all right?
It's not the same.
It's not the same, I know that, but that's the only thing that I could come up with, all right? It's not the same, I understand.
Your paralysis is crippling your ideas,
Yes,
okay?
all right, so I didn't do it, I didn't do it because
Yeah,
I
Too
got,
paralyzed.
I just got crushed,
Yeah.
that I couldn't find or go, and it was just so, it was devastating to me, so, anyway. So I just thought, this is a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be.
Like I went to brunch with Mike and Shell at a restaurant called Cliff Restaurant, 100 and something south on about 13th East,
Uh-huh.
And it's a very classy restaurant. Any classy restaurant for brunch is going to have wealthy men. Could have walked into the bar area or any of, and just walked by a guy and go, a couple of men or two or three men sitting at a table and just go up to one of them and
Yeah.
say, "You are so cute. You know.
Okay. Not cute, that's not the right thing to say.
You're
You
so
talked about it.
attractive. You're
Right,
so appealing."
attractive.
You know,
So
whatever.
I did do it yesterday to a man when we were at the ecstatic dance. I did do it, all right, and then I got into an enrollment conversation with him,
Good.
right, to come to this, to our workshop,
Yeah.
Wondrous Realms.
Yeah.
So I hope this gentleman will come,
I understand, and look,
but it's not a place
ecstatic
where-
dance isn't wealthy.
wealthy. It's
Yeah.
a place where people are into consciousness, so.
Yeah, hippies,
Well, right, but I did take the risk of doing that,
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
that,
Yeah, that's
because
good. And
that
you
was
know,
taking a risk.
yeah, and so any stretch you do is valuable, and you
Right.
should feel proud of that. And then you just have to know that if the sooner you can get to the more difficult stretches, the sooner you can reprogram your vibration in a way that he could show up.
Right,
When you're ready, go for it.
okay.
Okay. Good. And any wealthy area in the state has restaurants, has shops. There are shops, like for example, when I used to do a love life class, and I think in the early days, the relationships course had a section where single people would have to go out on the lunch break and go to a fancy place that sold, like a mall that had fancy stuff,
Uh-huh.
and they'd have to go flirt with one of the guys who's in the store. Now that's easy because the guy who's in the store wants to be friendly.
Right,
And he's not, and men especially, I don't know if you know this, but men love it when a woman approaches them or asks them for a date. I mean, even if they don't want to go out with you, they're like, "Oh, wow," you know what I mean?
yeah,
So, okay,
all right.
good, thank you. Okay, Mary, you have any strategies that came out of your visualizations?
They're all managing. Leaving alone and charging it. Getting another job, which I kind of technically did already. That stuff.
You don't sound real excited about your strategies.
I know.
So, what's the resistance?
That I don't fully have any resistance. But
Well, then why aren't you excited about your strategies?
What if I can just do it? And it's done.
Okay, okay, then do it. Come back next week and tell us what you did. Okay? Good. Okay, now, today is exciting because we're gonna find out today, even though you don't have any money, most of you, we're gonna find out who is gonna be in the awakening, okay? And all I have to do is ask you a question. And then everybody, when that person answers the question, everybody's gonna give me a number. Like, what do you get about their level of intention? Because depending on the number you all get, that's gonna tell you who's gonna be in this awakening and who's not gonna be. Y'all get it? Okay. So, Shelley, I'll start with you, okay? Are you going to be in this year's awakening?
Absolutely, yes.
Good. Everybody give me a number. 0 to 100.
100.
Am I hearing from everybody? Or
100.
You said something? Okay. Talk louder. 90. Good. So, mostly hundreds. Okay, good. Terrific. Okay. Let's acknowledge her. Okay. Mary, are you going to be in this year's awakening?
I am gonna be there because I am ready!
Okay. Give me a number, guys.
100.
100.
100.
Yeah. That's fun.
I'm a realist.
Yeah.
Mine is
Good.
pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. Let's acknowledge her. Okay. Ray, are you going to be in this year's awakening?
I actually believe that I am, which I didn't a week ago.
Yeah.
I guess there's a little bit in my mind that thinks it could be the next one, but I know for sure it's gonna happen. So, is that?
80.
Well, according to what you just said, you're not in this year's awakening.
Yeah.
So what's the concern? What's the consideration? What's the resistance? Let's put it this way.
It's a,
What fear are you willing to wait a year to have your freedom? What fear weighs that much that you're willing to give a year of your life away? And whatever it is, it's okay. I'm just trying to get you.
yeah, I know, I understand. It's self-doubt
Yeah, what's the self-doubt?
that I don't know, just that I always screw things up and never quite make the grade and
Yeah,
really good ideas but never follow through with them.
yeah.
It's like a history.
Right,
It's just,
right.
it's that.
I'll
it's
tell you,
that
that's,
shackle that the-
yeah, that's what's beautiful. When you sign up for anything that you believe could really catapult you, the beautiful thing about the way the physical body is designed and the fight or flight mind is designed, which remember comes from a million years or more of running away from saber-toothed tigers and, okay? The moment you sign up for something that can catapult you, your Wilbur gets busy. And his Wilburs are different than Sarah's Wilburs, which is different than Shelley's Wilburs, you know what I'm saying? So, all of those doubts that you just described are historically accurate. Okay? But what's at the cause of that history is a lack of intention. Whenever somebody is not wholehearted, they literally manifest a circumstance that matches the fear. What if I fuck up? bam, there it is. If you look at your circumstances, the ones that you don't like and the ones that don't fit your pictures, and you realize that I went into that situation half-hearted, what happened absolutely matched the lack of intention. So the reality is that you have everything it takes to prove Wilbur wrong, to have it happen. And the only thing you need to do is say, thank you for sharing, Wilbur, hang up the phone, and then act on 100%. If you're willing to do that, then I don't have a doubt you'll be in the awakening. And the best thing about that is you'll prove your history wrong. And the awakening will absolutely let you see that that history is crap. That does not have to be your history from this point going forward. Not at all. So give that a possibility. Let's see if next week I can ask you the same question, and you can sound like Shelley or Mary. You know what I mean? This could be a really golden week, because you could have those doubts going, you know what you've done in the past, you know. Thank you for sharing, hang up. And if you did that for a week, next week it would be a different answer. Okay. Thank you. Acknowledge it.
Yeah.
One of the things I'm most excited for you is that you're going to be blown away at how much people love you in the awakening. It'll be like nothing you've ever experienced. And it will really start to sink in. My God, people actually love me. And what I love about the awakening is that they love each person in the awakening, and people get so safe that they can just talk about all their nonsense and whatever. And it doesn't matter. Everybody loves you anyway, including all your crap. Doesn't matter. But I know that's a unique experience for you, so it's going to be fun to watch you let it in and get it, you know. Okay, Irving,
Yes,
are you going to be in this year's awakening?
I'm gonna be at the movie here.
Okay, give me a number, guys.
75.
Yeah, it's about right. So you're not there yet. Well, if you're going to be there, that means you got to turn your intention up. Spirit is not going to lend a hand if you keep playing at 80%. You know what I mean? And it's the same with Ray. It's like the only thing keeping you from 100% is just this. You know, whatever your Wilbur says about, you know, yeah, we know who you are. You know?
Well, I'm learning to get out of my head, because that's been an issue in my whole life.
Yeah.
I definitely feel it when I get into the visualization. And
Yeah.
all that. I can feel the energy.
Good.
It's coming.
Good. Is one of your new skills a PAL?
Yeah.
Good. Good. And how many times a day did I ask you to do that? Okay, good, that'll do it. Okay, let's see if next week you can act like a champion enough this week that you can actually have your heart be bigger than your Wilbur, so that next week when I ask you, it sounds more wholehearted, okay? Okay. Acknowledge.
That was interesting. I think feeling and more intention than I just said, and even a few seconds before it came to my turn.
Right.
It came to my turn.
And then it was all came up. That's right. That's right. Because it brought subconscious to conscious. Mary,
I figured out why I'm not excited about my day plan.
why?
Because I want it to be a miracle and I want somebody else to pay for it.
Manifest a miracle.
Well, it's great if somebody else did that, and if you wire it up like that's more of a miracle, that's fine. But the thing you gotta be careful about is that if you look at it from God's point of view, is it more of a miracle if they pay for it, or more of a miracle if you handle it on your own? You know what I mean?
But I always handle
That doesn't mean it's any less of a miracle.
it. Yeah.
That's the lie in the perception that you're having. It would be great if somebody else came up and said, oh, well, be great, but it doesn't, you're wiring it up that that's better, and it's not.
We just want Gary to tell her story in a few years' time.
No, I just don't want more debt added to what I have.
I have that issue too.
Be paying for, like, I can make it work and I can pay on it, but if it'll work, I'm going to be there,
Yeah,
but I don't want to be paying for it for the next 10 years.
right. So, think of it like, if there's a decent chance that the awakening would increase your income, I mean, how many things can you invest in that deal with this so that you can increase your income?
That's true, because I already have increased my income.
Yeah. Right. Right. And whatever increase comes out of the awakening over a decade, that's gonna be a hell of a lot more than the money you're gonna create to invest in. You know what I mean? And really ultimately what you want is you want Spirit to be so proud of you that it's willing to bring you some abundant blessings.
I guess the main underlying thing is I haven't been able to figure out how to make it so that I can live and get things that I want or have things that I need. And
Yeah.
I'm afraid that this is gonna put me over the edge where I'm gonna go back to being where I'm just sitting where I'm at.
Yeah. Well, if you know anything about numbers, you could actually look at all the numbers according to that, and an extra whatever $1,000 is not gonna put you over the edge if you've got a way to pay it off. That's just a thought. It's not based on realistic numbers. You know? So, the two skills that people who are trying to raise the money need is they need to keep verbalizing about their dream to somebody. And then they need to be honest about all the fears and doubts and stuff that came up so that they can keep getting them out of their system. So you and Ray and Irving sincerely need to just keep telling somebody verbally about your dream and your vision, and tell them about your doubts and your fears so that you can keep getting beyond it. Otherwise, if you keep them stuck, you know. Thank you.
That touched on that we talked about in the Genie game about you trying to act like a guy with a handle, in control, and then talking about fears and doubts makes me look like I'm losing it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Or
Yeah,
it's falling.
yeah. Well, and so, are you asking me a question?
No,
Or?
I'm just.
Yeah,
It's just a thought.
yeah. And what I'm saying is that those doubts and fears are energy in the negative. The dream and vision that you verbalize is energy in the positive. And when people are stuck or not moving forward, it's because the energy in the negative is bigger than the energy in the positive. And we gotta remember that if you know about the law of attraction, that you are always attracting 24/7 whatever is the most energy. So if you're not keeping this down and this up, you keep attracting some pretty negative shit.
But then, what I have been doing ever since I signed up, because I've known I'm going since I signed up,
Yeah.
anytime a thought would come up, it would be like, well, what if I can't get it?
Yeah.
What if it doesn't work out?
Yeah, yeah.
And then when those thoughts come in, I just push them out, no, I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
One way or another, I'm going to make it work.
Yeah.
So do I need to be addressing those doubts, or just continue being like?
As long as that works, okay. That's basically a version of hanging up the phone, okay? But I noticed right now when you were verbalizing your what ifs, right? That by you verbalizing it, it cleared it for you. It was good for you to verbalize it. And if you're only doing it in your head, it's not the same effect as when you're talking to somebody. So I'm just saying, if that works, great, but don't be afraid to talk to people about it so you can clear it out.
And it's true, because there's a lot of times that I have something going on in my head, and then once I go to say it to someone, I'm like, that's not stupid.
Well, then say it. Yeah. A lot of what's gonna happen at the awakening when you go through your breakthrough is that you're going to express the doubts and fears on a level you can't barely imagine right now, which heals it and reprograms it, which means that because those things are such huge, devastating doubts and fears and emotional black holes, there's like a law that when you release the negative, it has to be filled with positive. That's why the awakening has such a power to change people's lives. Because when they release that much stuff that's negative, here comes the positive. You know, Sarah's a perfect example of that. You know? So, don't misinterpret that somebody else giving it to you is the bigger miracle. It's not. Just keep thinking about what God is proud of you for. You know, and by the way, I can't remember, do you have access to the spirit realm? Sometimes?
Well, from my childhood, I've like completely blocked off and that.
Okay. Well, take it on faith then that your ancestors and descendants, and the ancestors and descendants of people you haven't met yet, are cheering you on because they know that your particular healing and breakthrough is significant not only to their descendants, but also to everything, to the light. Okay? It's important what you're doing here. Okay. Okay, gang, I'll see you next week.
Can we hear about Sarah's intention to be in the awakening?
She's already been through the awakening.
Oh, dang it!
Yes, I'll be there.
Dang it, she's already been there. I forgot. You've already been there.
She was the famous story who was sitting on the couch when the awakening was happening and decided to put herself vulnerable on the line and raised the money she needed to get in.
That's right. So, do awakening grads, is it required for them to come back and do,
No.
service? No,
If-
it's not, it's
If
just
they're
a
in,
privilege.
if they're in movement to mastery,
Right,
it's required for them to do a source position.
source,
But
okay.
after that, they don't have to. A lot of them just come back because they want to be in
Because
the
they love
space.
to, right, okay,
Yeah.
that was one of our quiz questions. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay,
Okay, gang,
thanks.
have a great week.
Okay.
And I hope I see, oh, by the way, I wanna say this about, Wondrous Realms. If you're trying to raise the money, you wanna be in that workshop. Because, you know, when people sign up after the awakening in June or July or August, whatever, I tell them, do every workshop that comes down the pipe between now and your awakening that you can do. Because it keeps raising your vibration. And if your vibration is gonna get to a nice place, and I'm telling you, this Wondrous Realm is gonna be off the charts. Off the charts. So you, all you have to do is just be in the room. You don't have to even say anything, and your vibration is gonna be there. You know what I mean?
This is the one I've been waiting for.
I
It's
know.
called Magical Realm.
I
And you
know.
never did it last
I
year, huh?
haven't done it.
No.
I can't get off.
Because it's so magical, we want to do it.
And I don't wanna ruin the surprise, but you got my email about how last night I had a profound experience.
Yes, yes.
I had about a half dozen revelations, and I now see what's gonna happen in this next round.
Great.
Believe me, you don't want to miss
That's so great. So are we still texting the team captain every day?
Absolutely.
Okay, just wanted
it.
to
It's
clarify
between
that.
now and the awakening, or whenever we stop this
Okay.
class.
Just clarifying, thank you,
Okay.
Miss Perfect Mary. It reminds me to capture my own percentage. I know, it's still perfect.
And then where did he get stuff?
Thank you, Ray, even though you didn't tuck in your little string, I'll train you, all game
Did you
better.
see my message or no?
Yeah,
Irving,
right.
Can't find his name tag anywhere.
That sounds
But
like
it's
an
here somewhere.
Oh, we can.
There's several of them.
Well, let me ask Michelle.
What, ma'am?
I'm
Would you
trying.
be willing to take me right to the station? That's up off 104th.
Sure. Right now?
All the people
Well,
missing
after,
out
because I want to
that
talk
aren't
to Gary.
here.
Okay.
Yeah, if you do.
Right?
Sure, I will.
Ashton. Yeah, I just wanted to talk to Gary real
Short
quick.
and sweet and to the point. Now, can you ask me a question about visualization?
I don't think that's it in here.
No.
It's always been a-
I need those. Those are important. Okay.
You got your certificates coming. Just messed it up.
See you later, guys.
I'm putting yours, just in case, I'm putting yours in the Movement to Mastery box, just because I'm going in here for everybody else's, so.
So if you're lost, that's where it is.
So if you're lost,
I
you're,
can get all the good movement vibes from you.
yes, you're in the movement box, okay?
Bye.
Oh well. That won't work.
I'm not putting Kim's in there.